To come to Bali on vacation and end up becoming an investor in a high-yield rental business. This is the story of one of our clients, Vladimir, whose results from investing in the island's real estate exceeded all his expectations.
As an investor, an entrepreneur, I basically have invisibility all over the world. So when I found myself in Bali, I thought, why not Bali? I analyzed that it's more profitable to build and rent here. I found out that the most effective model is renovation. So he buys a large outdated property in Bali, which is quite affordable. And accordingly, he can take it, renovate it, and rent it out. It's quite accessible, and accordingly, you can take it, renovate it, and rent it out. I asked management companies which properties have the most effective rental performance. So who are we talking about? Demand for which objects are better created and at the best price. I was told that if there's a run, he does the best job renovating properties and getting the most effective results. I have investing experience and can discern the developers, and I already understand what to look for. And basically, just from the dialogue and the properties, I can tell how the developer thinks, what their life stance is, and what their goals are. And I immediately appreciated Kabran's attitude as if he were doing it for himself. So he does it as if it's for himself. Every detail, every little thing is thought out. I lost money with rushed projects. I was with developers when during the initial interviews they showed beautiful pictures and impressive presentations, but in reality when it came time to rent it out, it was all about rushing to get it done and so on. I've had my fill of that. Seeing the properties that Kabran showed me, I noticed that everything was thought out in detail, right down to the smallest things.
Since Vladimir decided to make significant investments to achieve high returns and reduce payback periods, EVDEkimi immediately offered him 2 properties for redevelopment. And not just redevelopment, but increasing the usable space through a complete redesign.
I had to fly out in a week. And Cameron says, here's an interesting project. I wanted to do it myself, but I can hand it over to you. We discussed the cost. I had to fly out and I flew out. I said, send me the calculations, Cameron. He didn't send it. He said, here's the basic calculation. And here's how I would do it for myself. And send me another one. So it's not just about doing the renovation, but also increasing the quantity and effective area.
Right now, we are in the 4-bedroom Udara villa. It used to have just 2 rooms, and it looked something like this. In the other villa, thanks to the redesign, we also converted it from 2 rooms to 3 rooms. So, both properties can now accommodate 16 people. There is also access to different segments of tenants, and the ability to rent the villa as a 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom, or 2-bedroom property, reducing the booking window to 0.
And then even for me, unique events were happening. Without even flying to Bali, I sent Kamran a pretty decent amount of money for the purchase of these properties and for the innovation. He started the process and I flew in, completed all the paperwork in a week, and then I flew out. And since then, I haven't seen the property in person even once. I received photos after the renovation, and the photos exceeded my expectations. Surprisingly, when the project started, I saw that a bunch of things we hadn't discussed were actually included in the cost. And a complete overhaul of the pool, complete dismantling of the roof, waterproofing, a bunch of small household items like spoons and forks. Indeed, as if it were for myself. I was surprised by the profitability of the first months, which was twice as high as expected. I really didn't understand what kind of phenomenon that was, but I really entered the season very well. So right away, there was a high return on investment. But again, we need to actually calculate the profitability so that when a whole year passes, we need to look at next April. But it's already clear that these figures will be close to the maximum forecasted.
The Udara and Barapi villas started welcoming their first guests in May 2024. By the end of the 3rd quarter, these 2 villas have an average check that is nearly double that of competitors in the area. And the occupancy in August reached a record 97%, thanks to a well-structured investment strategy and professional management. We plan not only to achieve a return of over 15% on Vladimir's properties in the first year, but also to reduce the payback period from 7 to 5 years.
Yes, how informative is your personal account? How convenient is it?
Well, if I were to rate it on a 5-point scale, I would probably give it a 4. I can see the uploads, I see the bookings, I can see who they are for, and I can see the amounts. So I can see the expenses by category and I can see the payments. Payments happen clearly, day by day, not by the month. And basically, I can see the entire financial balance except for this part, where commissions are deducted from the net income.
Vladimir, you are of course a linear investor, but did you have any doubts or concerns specifically about investing in the Bali market?
Let's start with the fact that I'm seeing this person for the first time, and a month later, I'm sending money to another country. I sent dollars from Russia for the renovation. This is a person I didn't know at all, and through 2 people he recommended to me. So these are the people we are handing the money over to Here I was trusted. Oh, by the way, I was also in Europe when I was in Germany. And here he dealt with the money through a trusted person. What, really, just take it and hand it over to some random person on the street? I all said, yes, Kamrat told me, just give it to that person. So just hand it over like that, like with suitcases. I said, yes, just give it. My experience is unique in that I see a person once and I send him money to another country and still not seeing the property, I'm getting a decent return since April. Basically, I'm currently buying another property. I've already transferred the advance, also remotely on trust without any contracts. Buying another third property.
It's too early to assess, but the monthly figures give us reason to expect that Vladimir will reach his investment goals ahead of schedule. Are you ready to replicate our client's success and start earning from real estate in Bali? Submit an application for a consultation with the specialist EVDEkimi.